What knife is better, Talon or Karambit, in my opinion? All right, so I personally don't like the Talon handle as much. I would like much prefer the handle of the Karambit personally, but I think the animations of the Talon, in my opinion, are better. They're more like quick and fun, and like the newer knives have like slightly more, I think a couple more animations and shit like that. I like the I didn't think I would like the Talon as much. I like how the skins look on the Karambit more slightly, but I think I'm going to get a Talon that I like keep. Is that the proper way to say Karambit? Oh, sorry, Karambit. I actually don't know. I've always said Karambit, but that doesn't. I don't think that's probably wrong. Yeah, the animation is key. I think that's why like the butterfly knife is so good, because the animation is just like, if you just satisfy your your ADD with it. Bayo animation bangs, yeah. The only problem with the Bayo is just that the blade is a little bit like boring by itself when it's just out. But the animation is like, oh, insane. I had a sapphire bayonet and I really I love that knife. It's beautiful, but yeah, the only thing was like the blade is just like a little bit small. I think in terms of the knife that you're going to get bored of the least, animation is really, really important. And then the second is just like how nice the blade is when it's just out for like the different patterns you get. Like, on M9, it's hard to beat the M9. Even if you don't like the M9 that much, or you feel like you've seen it too much, or you're a little bit bored of it, the blade is so massive that like some of these patterns look insane on the M9, and the animation is really sick too on the M9. Huntsman underrated? Yeah. I found that Huntsman is underrated a little bit. It's a little bit like stiff, I guess. I kind of like the looseness of like the butterfly, the bayonet, and the M9 personally, and like the paracord I feel like is a little bit stiff as well. The paracord, kind of like the Huntsman, is a little bit stiff, but the paracord is very, very nice. Like, it's a huge blade. The patterns look sick on it, and it's cool how the pattern goes all the way down to the bottom when you like inspect it and stuff, because you can see the cord, is it the cord, I guess, the paracord wrapped around it. Yeah, it's clean. I think the paracord is a very nice a very nice knife. Let's talk about this. Let's just do a quick tier list here. I want to warn everybody. We're rating knives. I'm gonna make some people are not going to be happy about this. I pre-apologize for any bad opinions or wrong opinions that I have. But I did go on a knife server last night. I Googled how to do this. I looked at all of the different knives. I tried them, and I tried all of the different skins as well, okay? So yes, I am an expert, but I don't claim to be one, okay? So what I think are the two, when we define this list, this is very important. What I think is very important to remember about this list that we have to take seriously is order of priority in terms of what attribute of a knife is the most important, okay? The thickness of the blade, the animation. Okay, so what I think is the most important thing, what I'm going to put at number one, animation. Well, let's go in order. Let's go in order so there's no spoilers as to who we think is number one, okay? The animation of the bayonet is great. Okay, I'm going to put this in A tier. I'm going to explain why. The animation of this knife is fantastic. There's nothing wrong with it. It's satisfying. It's freeing. It's liberating to switch from your gun to your knife and back. It's got some nice skins, but it's always in the shadow of the S tier M9, okay? Because there are two different animations. Some prefer one, some prefer the other. Neither have an incorrect opinion. You've got a bigger, thicker, girthier, veinier blade here on the M9. And you can layer on these sick, you can have an emerald M9, you can have the sapphire M9, and it's just massive. It's all over your screen, like you can't look away from it. And this one, I can put this in A tier, okay? Because I've had a sapphire bayonet, and I can say from my own experience that even with the sapphire bayonet, it's a great knife, but it's still a little bit plain when it comes to just how it's thin. It's a little bit plain when you're just holding it out. Okay, you're kind of always want to use the animation, but the M9, I mean, it's satisfying no matter where you're at. If you're just holding it out or if you're switching to it. So that's where I just want to see if you want to gauge where this list is going. This is where this list is going. Okay, I'm gonna skip knives for the end that I don't really have much of an opinion on. I did go on the WS server and try them all out, so I have a good feel for things. Let's keep going here to the butterfly knife. Start with some more classics, okay? I have to put butterfly knife in S tier, okay, right off the bat. We're filling it up in S tier because this is a knife that has some of the very best patterns. The animation is god tier. It looks good when it's out by itself. It's not too big, but it's got so much detail to it, and the animation is like unreal. The amount of stuff you can do with this thing. You can save money on a fidget spinner and invest in a butterfly knife. If you have a knife like, let's say, a more average knife here, like let's say you just have something with a decent pull-out pattern, like a karambit that's going in the B tier, but it looks good, but the animations are just okay in contrast to another knife that I'm going to talk about in a second. Then you're gonna have to get the fidget spinner with the karambit, but not with the bayonet. Okay, so we got the karambit, okay, karambit, and that's going here. Now, I would like not to sleep on a knife that I just won in a 1v1 versus Zipple. It wasn't even close. I defeated him in a one-on-one situation, and he gave me. He said one of the best knives of his inventory. The 1.6 classic knife, blue steel, and of course the big question on everybody's mind is where is this going? A, B, C, D, or S? And I'd say that this is an incredibly underrated knife. I was actually shocked to see how fun it was to the pull-out animation. I thought it looked very crispy. I don't think many people are going to rate this knife because, probably a lot of people haven't even played 1.6, don't have that nostalgia factor, but I honestly feel like the classic, it kind of bangs. The only issue with putting this in the A tier is that the bayonet's up here in the A tier, and is the classic knife up there with the bayonet? I don't know. I think I need an extra. Maybe I'll adjust the letters here so we have a bit more breathing room. Why don't we do, okay, A plus, A minus, okay, A minus tier. How about that? So now people are less angry, even though they're still fuming. I can see it. You guys are seething in chat. We're gonna put the classic knife in A minus. It's actually very good. It's a big knife. It looks great with it looks great. Everybody wins now. It looks great because it takes up a lot of your screen. I have the blue steel variation, and I'm happy with it. I use it frequently, and that speaks for itself. I actually switch to it quite often. All right, and then what's next in terms of knives I immediately recognize? Oh, we actually have this. Unfortunately, I'm really sorry for everybody. Okay, and now we've got the flip knife. The flip knife, honestly, it's tiny, but it's a sleeper pick, okay? This is the choice that I think you can buy, and I think back in the day, the flip knife was slept on for good reason. It's gone through a gestation period. It's now, in the context of all of these other knives, it stands a little bit above some of the newer knives that are not so cool, that are just there, that are a little bit cheaper in between prices. Honestly, I think the flip is not so bad. It's not incredible, not a big blade, not an amazing animation, a little bit boring to pull out, but it's still B for me, I think. I'm going to put this in a B tier. Okay, it's still not so bad. Gut knife, I'm so sorry, everybody. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Huntsman. I think the Huntsman, as was mentioned in chat, very underrated. It's got a big blade, and patterns look great. Slaughter, I guess fade if you're into that. I don't know. Not too many good skins, but still some of them look fantastic. The flipping animation is a little bit too quick for me. It's a little bit too rigid. It's a little bit too short. It's not like as buttery. It's not like a bayonet where that's like rubbing butter on your eyeballs and nipples at the same time. A Huntsman is a bit too rigid with the animation. It's a bit too quick. It's a flip. It's like an unrealistic, okay, kind of comic book action movie type flip. Like it's clearly not totally natural, but it's still not bad. I hate to put this in the same tier as the flip knife, but what we can do instead is maybe we can make this A. We can make this A minus. I really don't think it's that bad of a knife, honestly. And all the way down there in C, unfortunately, are a couple of knives. Now the contrast is even heavier here with A and just going right down to C. But yeah, I would hate to put this in a tier lower than A minus. I think the Huntsman is actually now the question on everybody's mind is, where does the paracord fit in? Where does the paracord fit in? Of the new knives, I think of the ones with me not knowing about skins ever since like the Butterfly came out, I stopped even looking at skins really. So I missed out on the classic, the paracord and stuff. I tried them all yesterday. I gotta say, of all of the newer knives, I was maybe most impressed with the paracord. I think it still lacks on one thing, with just animations. A bit too rigid, like kind of like the Huntsman. Not quite as good of an animation as the 1.6 classic knife, but the paracord has a better blade. It looks better vanilla. It has a better handle. The way that the pattern at the bottom sticks out a little bit, I think it's a super underrated knife. I think it's really very decent. And honestly, I think price to value, price to performance here, I'm feeling very good about the paracord knife. I like it. I got to drop this one in. I'm going to drop this here in the A minus. In the A minus, okay? I like this knife a lot, but I wouldn't see myself buying it, okay? In terms of order of buying it, I'm buying this, I'm buying this, I'm buying this, I'm buying this, I'm buying this. I might buy this, I might buy this, I might buy this, okay? So that I'm going to put that. I think it's a sleeper pick. I think it's a great choice, but it's not A minus for me personally. Oh man, there's a couple of very interesting ones coming up, okay? I think right away we have to just get a couple of things out of the way here. All right, and now we're gonna move on forward to the stiletto. Okay, stiletto, a knife that everybody loves to talk about, no one loves to buy. The stiletto is a knife that it fits in the same category almost as the flip knife. You know, like you probably hire a dominatrix at night to step on your balls, and you don't tell anybody. You know, you spend a little bit too much time on Craigslist, and the way you express yourself is by buying a flip knife or a stiletto from the Steam marketplace. And then you don't have to talk about it. Everybody knows. It's like the secret currency of people who like to be domineered, right? You buy a stiletto, buy a flip knife. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. So that's why it's still, I think, going to be... no, well, okay, hold on. I need to add another... This is a little bit unfair. I got to add like another tier here. I'm just going to drag some of these down here. Sorry to everybody who really had high hopes for those. I'm going to put a stiletto in the actual B because I was holding it. I was like, you know what? It's kind of satisfying. I mean, there's nothing wrong getting your nut stepped on, and I really didn't mind it. And I think it's not got a great blade. It's a little bit unique, but I could see it filling a niche. So let's go ahead and stick that in B. Moving straight along. Oh my God, this is the one. Okay, insane conversations around all of these knives. Like everybody wants to know about these knives, and what the opinions are on these knives. And my God, okay, there are very few knives that are, I'm going to spoil this right now, there are very few knives that are cooler than the skeleton knife. It's got the crazy 80D animations of the butterfly. It's got great skins overall. The crimson web looks good basically anywhere. It's got the value of the paracord with the skin going all the way down to the bottom of the knife. It's got a good variety of animations. I mean, this knife is really high up there. I mean, I don't know how I could rate this any lower than, for example, in I definitely gonna I know exactly where this knife fits in, but I'm so positive that this knife should go in the this is why it's gonna go in the A+ category, because it's missing a few skin variations. If it had the same amount of skin variations and looked as good as the M9 or as the butterfly knife, then I'd put it up there. And so for that reason, I'm going to stick this in the A+. But I'm putting that in strong A+, okay? Strong A+ here for the skeleton knife. Great job, Valve devs, with that. A couple of middling knives here that just don't stand out from the pack. They're not trashed here. They're all good. Like, you know what I mean? They're all better than the Navajas and the Gut and the Shadow Daggers and the Falchion or whatever. I like them all. They're all decent, but they don't really stand out from the rest. And of course, one knife here that doesn't belong, the last knife that I'm really going to talk for a minute about, is the Talon knife. Okay, the Talon. What a beautiful bastard the Talon knife is. It looks good in vanilla. It's similar to the Karambit, but it is the improved younger brother. Okay, it's the one drawback is the handle of the Karambit matches more with more things, whereas this one's not quite white. It's a little bit yellowish, and sometimes it changes a bit with the different skins. A bit harder to match with than the Karambit. Plus, it's not quite as clean with the holes in the blade and the serrated top and stuff. The Karambit fits more with more styles of skins. Karambit's got, I think the Karambit fade and it looks better. I think though some of those skins are a bit more expensive. With the Karambit, I think the only issue for the Talon is that it doesn't look as clean as a Karambit when it comes to the skins, but the animation, as we mentioned earlier, takes precedence over the blade itself, and I think for that reason we're at minimum in A+ tier knife here. Now the only thing is that I've now, as you guys know, I've been sponsored by Zipple for the last couple of weeks, and I've been trying out a couple of knives, and yeah, I'm becoming a bit of an expert. I've decided to place my Talon over every other single knife, and the main reason that I went into a server to test out the knives was to find out what the Talon looked like in other skin variations. And my God, I truly love the Talon. I think it's a knife I'm going to buy next for myself. It is missing a few, I think, skin choices, but the Sapphire is S+ tier. Sapphire Talon is S+ tier for sure. But apart from the Sapphire, the Ruby, the other ones are very, very good, but not like incredible. And so for that reason, I'm going to very graciously give this an A+. I think this one's teetering. This one's right here. I'm going to give this an A+. The only reason is the blade itself, the handle itself, not matching too easily. Can't put it too far from the Karambit for that reason, by my logic, I would say. But then the animations are fantastic. I really do like it. And I think I'm going to buy it for myself. And the rest of these knives, I'm just gonna stick them here, to be honest. Honestly, I'm sorry if anybody owns these knives and they wanted their own segment, but this is the final tier list for me. I can't even remember what the names are of these knives. They don't stand out from the pack. Okay, these knives are all the knives that bought JanSports in high school. Okay, they're the knives that all kind of look a little bit too similar to stand out from each other. It's all right. We all had JanSports in high school. It's all good. But unfortunately, I had to say it. Okay. Is this no, that's the Navajas, right? Okay. The paracord is kind of hype, man. The paracord is kind of hype. I really like it. I was thinking about it. It's not a bad knife. It's a good knife. All right. So there's my shitty opinion knife tier list. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments. Scared to read them. And yeah, we've got like a lot of love for these knives and above. But after that, yeah, KZ. Okay, so oh man, we need a new tier list for. So quickly, all these knives also relate to your movement increase. When you have these knives, M9 is the god tier knife, butterfly knife is the god tier knife for movement, and then beyond that, these knives are all going to help your movement definitely, without question. I actually think in terms of movement, I might give a buff in terms of editing this list just for movement to the classic knife. I might put that up a little bit, and maybe the Karambit just because of JW. Okay, that might move up a touch. Everything else is going to be about the same. None of the knives in A- or below are going to help your movement, unfortunately. So if you're looking for a knife that's going to improve your movement 10-20%, go for A and above here. Yeah, there's definitely some good movement users that use Karambits. Karambit. Karambit. Wait, which one is it? Karambit. Okay. Karambit. Slower. Karambit. Okay. What about the default knives? Oh, fuck. The default knife should go in there. Man, I like the default knives. I think they're not bad. I think my bad opinion about the default knives is I actually like the CT knife more than the T knife.